What was the inspiration for All That Glitters?
I've long been interested in why people are attracted to shiny objects. And I'm not exactly sure when I began thinking about it in terms of, as a species thing or a survival thing or whatever. But I did learn that there are a number of other animals that are attracted to shiny objects. When I was in Australia, I learned that they often, when they're trying to catch emus, they will take a shiny umbrella and open it and close it, aim it at the emu and open and close it so that it's sort of flashing, and the emu will come running toward the person who's trying to capture them, and because they just find that the bird finds it fascinating.
I didn't know that.
And in France and Italy, they use spinning mirrors to capture larks. Fish are attracted to spinning lures with little, like a trout lure is basically a little piece of metal that's spinning around around a hook. It draws them in because they think it's some kind of prey. So there's this sort of built-in attraction to that I found fascinating. And why do we surround ourselves with jewels and crowns and gold, and it's, if you think about anything that we kind of value, there's almost always a sort of shiny element to it. It's the attraction to light itself, that I think is really kind of fascinating. That we're really not wired for taupe or grayish or whatever. There's a current sort of interior design fad for kind of drab interiors.
Minimalist.
Yeah.
Which I am not.
Yeah, and you'll see it at places like Restoration Hardware. Everything's kind of a mole gray color. It's appealing to some people. I'm always trying to think, what's the story behind the story? Or, think maybe people think that they themselves pop more when they have kind of a drab looking surroundings to live in. I don't know. I haven't really solved that, but often find myself sort of wondering why people do what they do.
A constant observational study.
Yeah.
What is your favorite object on view in All That Glitters?
My favorite object at the moment, and that changes actually from week to week, but I would say it's probably the voodoo flag. It's from Haiti, and it's covered with sequins, and it's an image of Baron Samedi, or the guardian spirit of the underworld, and sort of in some ways performs the same role as like Cerberus, the three-headed dog, in Greek mythology, Greek and Roman mythology. It's the sort of gatekeeper to the underworld, and he's a link between the living and the dead, and that sort of thing. And I just find it fascinating, partly because this is also an example of people making do, trying to introduce as much splendor as they can into their ceremonies, given what they have to work with. And what they have, for one thing, is a lot of time, because it's each of these voodoo flags involve there's several thousand sequins that get sewn onto them, and it just takes a long time to put one together, and then but they're not very expensive to put together. The sequins are bits of plastic, and it's thread and cloth, and that's all they work with. And then but the idea is to create something that is as splendiferous and magnificent as they can make it, and that sort of flash of the flash itself pulls in the spirits. And during a Vodun's ceremony, they would use these as a way of invoking the presence of the spirits. So I just think it's a wonderful way of thinking. Mm. It's not that it's easy to look at that and say, well, how primitive or whatever. But if you think about the all the splendor that's part of the Vatican, or I mean, splendor and invoking the presence of God has been with us for forever, really. People have always used whatever was the most impressive thing that they could come up with to sort of call forth that mood of being in the presence of something bigger than themselves.
From my experiences going through All That Glitters, I think a lot of the objects on view, you can tell that, despite maybe the high quality or lack thereof of the material used, you can tell the time that was spent to create some of these things, and that's just as impressive.
Oh yeah.
For me.
Yeah, I mean, every time is something that's a part of an art object as well, and it's whether it's an action painting connects to a particular moment. People say, well, that abstract painting only took Jackson Pollock 20 minutes to make it. Yes, but but it's that particular 20 minutes that is that sort of moment in time that you're pulled toward, and you can feel the energy that he was engaging with when you do that. It's a photograph only takes a split second to make, yet it pulls you into, particularly as they get older and you look at old photographs, you're sort of it suddenly has this power to sort of take you back in time, or it's like becomes this little time machine. They gather power as they age, and I feel like a lot of art does that as well.